Majuba. We pay homage, it's the Ilajuba. We seek the great spirit's approval, manifesting the ancestral maneuver. As the Orishas move you, my child, let me speak to your spirit. You warriors calling a little louder, I want you to hear it. Just face it, don't fear it. Your mirror reflection, revere it. Shadow work, you will clear it. Just the seasons will change. You were called to rise. Open your eyes, realize, rearrange. It's not a game, press past through your pain. We are not mediocre nor mundane. You are great now, claim your new name. Break free from the chains. I just want you to see through and see true. See yourself as all of the mind sees you. The God in you, manifest your breakthrough. Standing tall, seeing life from a bird's eye view. While manifesting your Odu. Yeah. We keep it real, real life and reveal. It's all in me, my destiny. I will find, follow, fulfill my destiny. I will find, follow, fulfill. Majuba, we pay homage, it's the Ilajuba. We seek the great spirit's approval, manifesting the ancestral maneuver. As the Orishas move you. Just the Ilajuba.
Abora, this is a little Fakro de Edinkai Fa Temple. We welcome you to our Ilajuba Fa Temple service. I see the people in TikTok land, the folks in YouTube and Facebook world. I see you. Good to see you. So I'm looking at these two cameras. Thank you all for joining us once again. Let us begin with prayer today. All right. Mojuba loro, mojuba leda, mojuba lo mari, mojuba bobo rumale, mojuba bobo male, mojuba bobo kendi, so loro mari, mojuba miss, mojuba, usu games, mojuba da top, mojuba basement, mojuba forgiveness, mojuba forgiveness, rocks, mojuba dale, mojuba time, mojuba now, mojuba forgiveness, mojuba watches, mojuba Jimmy, mojuba Katie, mojuba Sebrali. Mojuba James Elvis, mojuba Benino, Chino, one do no blocker, Dennis, I was thinking no. Mojuba bobo Geog you hear super please and set please. You hear super please and approve of please. He talks to one and ensure that the talk is completely absorbed. He hears super please and set please in the name of Ifa. He hears super please and approves of please is the name of Eshu Dada. He talks to ensure that the talk completely absorbs the name of Orishanla. Orishanla, you're the person knows one being. Person knows one connect out in person. Strike frogs when some rainfall. Bullfrogs when some downpour. It is whatever the accurate regular poems you tells us or that accepts whatever the big red tells us or that accepts all what I tell you, stop, please accept and approve them. Oh, true right there. To show gratitude upon gratitude is all our gratitude. To display benevolence upon benevolence is the all of our benevolence. Whoever is in I show gratitude for yesterday's benevolence, such a person will not receive today's gratuity. These were the declaration fought to the 401 at Romulan going to my Yoruba, God of Orishabo Uji. These are also declarations for two rumor. I'm going to marry Okwaya, the daughter of Buji. I'm grateful. I'll see my gratuity. I'm grateful for yesterday's favor. I'll see today's gratuity. Oh, to her at that. We were very grateful. Asheo. Awa dupe, awa bure, awa dupe, awa bure, awa dupe, anau, awa bure, tunebo, olodumare. Awa dupe, awa bure, awa dupe, awa bure, awa dupe, awa bure, tunebo, oriya. Awa dupe, awa bure, awa dupe, awa bure. Irúmọlẹ̀ àwa dúpẹ́ àwa àbúrẹ́, àwa dúpẹ́ àwa àbúrẹ́, àdúpẹ́ ànáwó òbúrẹ́ tìǹbù lẹ́gùn lóríṣà. Father, we thank you for life, health, strength, food, clothing, and shelter. We ask for your forgiveness in the name of your also. Tutu Canadian without truth can be very difficult to consume. Use declaration thought to Tutu, the child of our venerable, he was full of bad characters, bad actions, of preventing him from entry, files, domain. Now we've come to solicit on behalf of Tutu. We've come to beg on behalf of Tutu. How many children does Ifa have that he will cast one out? Those who beg on behalf of Tutu. Those who beg on behalf of Tutu. Oh, Belara. Ifa will call on you. We ask that you ward off our death, ward off our sickness, ward off cases and controversy, ward off fights, litigation, losses, outright fights, witchcraft, and negative energy from us. Oh, Belara, a woman says time to sleep. I echo this time to sleep when the day dawned. I met a woman in the 16th room where he covered his head with a flowing gown full of lies. He was wearing dress full of blood, saying he was snoring heavily. They told him that delegate from his disciple, Arumela, and there is no enough to wake up. I admit my ignorance is educating me. Motuna Karaba, I hide myself in the bosom of Sabah. Motuna Karaba, dark and master to be tagged by them repeatedly. Dark and master to be tagged by them repeatedly to perform rituals because of children. You are the leaders, we are the followers. The leaders are the ones who show the followers wisdom. Aruma told them to get alligator pepper, to get cola nut, get bitter coconut, get alcohol. Their copper got the alligator pepper, got the cola nut, got the bitter coconut, and got the alcohol. That is right, but now he is fully awake. Rumila, when you are fully awake, please look at me with eyes of compassion. It is with eyes of compassion that the heavenly stars use and look at the stars below. Rumila, when you're fully awake, please look at me with eyes of choke 1, 2. Secure great wealth. It is such good eyes that the heavenly stars use and look at the stars below. Rumila, when you're fully awake, please look at me with eyes of choke 1, 2. Secure good spouse. Such good eyes my spouse should use and look at me with. Rumila, when you're fully awake, please look at me with your eyes of choke 1, 2. Bear men and children in such good eyes a child you do and look at what they're great to play. Before long, not too far. Join us in the midst of all your own life. Ola Tutu is the name of Ifa. Ola is the name of Odu. Ola is the name of Oshun. When the three of you would design my identity in heaven, you did not design it for imprecation, chanters to have power to kill me, or for incantation users to kill me, or for spellcasters to kill me, or for cutlass wielders to kill me or any of us, or for gun trotters to kill any of us, or for wizards to kill any of us, or for witches to kill any of us. Those of you who do not know, when the three of you designed our destinies in heaven, you did not design it for anyone to have power over us. You did not design it for anyone to have power to kill us. The three of you are one's Lord. Death does not consume pepper. Any unnatural death caused by humankind, do not let it kill us. Afflictions do not eat onions. Do not let any of us be afflicted throughout our lifetime. Pestilence does not consume eated spice. Do not let any of us be afflicted with pestilence. Do not let any of us have stroke. Do not any of us be a cripple. Do not let any of us be shot by gun trotters, cut by cutlass wielders, spellcasters who use them against me. For we do not use cutlass to cut into creeping plant melon seed. Ifa, please let me be given my proper respect at all times. The snail is for peace, softness, and harmony. All evils that human beings direct against any of us, let it be neutralized within all of our bodies for coolness and peace. That is what we find when we have Otutupan Ifa beads. The guinea fowl is it which authorizes for all of us to have peace and comfort. All evils of this world, Ifa, please turn it to peace and convenience for us. Irete Tutu has declared that all evils shall bow their heads to us at this time. Ifa, we call on you. We call on Ifa to support us. Ima kami meni amo, ima kami meni ano, ima kami meni adelo kunta mwole. Tori Ifa alone mi, ebora timpanini, ene banami, awon ati Ifa lelejo. Ifa, no one can harm us because we are your property. Ifa, we call on you. Ifa, we ask for Oshetura to stamp approval to all of these prayers. Oshetura, Tiny other fetal tubular start of a criminal and it's not big enough to use his headgear. Had it been enough to use his headgear, I would have taken it home and done my hell with it. Easy 5 decorations to Aruela. I'm going on special mission to Jebula. We're going to look at the same money. Going to make rich. Osharola, Zgarawo, Oshetra. I take it in Bagisa. I strike sharply against the tree. Casting 5 for Romulan. He see Iba, no chef from Molodamai. If in our waters, you should be wealthy. You should surely be wealthy. I kick it in Bagisa in the mouth of an old Zazibana share in the mouth of an owl. If no one should have joy, she'll have joy. I kick it in Bagisa in the mouth of Zazibana share in the mouth of an owl. If no one should have victory, she'll have victory. I kick it in Bagisa in the mouth of Zazibana share in the mouth of an owl. Let's sing. May it be so, surely shall it be. Àṣẹ òrìṣà lẹ́nu mi o, àṣẹ òrìṣà lẹ́nu mi. Gbogbo tí mo bá màmá rí o, ìdúnmọ̀lẹ̀ ó bà. Ìfà ó bà ó, àṣẹ òrìṣà lẹ́nu mi. Everyone touch your head. Orí ẹni làrúrẹ̀ ẹni o, orí ẹni làrúrẹ̀ ẹni. Mọ́jú lómi fa wá mọ́rí, orí ẹni làrúrẹ̀ ẹni. Àṣẹ o. Gbogbo rẹ̀ ṣáàtú, ìfà ó bà lọ́rùn, àti bàtàjú, ìfà ó bà lọ́rùn, rọ̀ṣẹ́ àrò ìlà ìfà ti bọ́. O Lord Omari and all of the divinities, we ask that you would come support us today. Bless us today. Ward off all death, ward off all sickness, ward off cases, controversy, ward off fight, litigation, losses in our lives, ward off witchcraft and negative energy from us. Bring forth to us long life, wealth, good spouse, good children, healing, joy, peace of mind, victory. Ifa, we ask for blessings for the travelers to the Ifa and Orisha Festival in Ado-Ekiti. Protect our family members and loved ones there as they visit the various places and cast the Odu for the new year. Ifa, we ask that you would ward off all the Ajogun from us. Help us to find, follow, and fulfill our destiny. Aboru, Aboye, Aboshishe, Aboato. Man, thank y'all. Good to see you today. Shout outs to everyone on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all of the platforms that we're on. I want to urge you to like and share. Like and share. Today's message is going to be valuable. And those of you who are on TikTok, we're going to stay on for a little bit longer and have Q&A. But I want you all to share this message right now. So let's start. So something is happening to the people of the world, people of America, and especially right now. People are not just angry anymore. People are unraveling. Everyone seems to have a level of tenseness and tension. People are overstimulated, emotionally overloaded. Everyone has a hair trigger to be disrespected. People are feeling attacked, and everyone feels unheard and even powerless. And now we're watching people crash out in real time. We've got websites dedicated to crash outs. I was just watching a crash out a minute ago with my wife. Road rage, domestic violence, fighting in a store, shootings, internet rage, Twitter fingers, humiliation culture is rampant. Men killing women, women killing men, children growing up around emotional warfare, people snapping out over small things, people becoming violent over rejection, over pride, over ego, over perceived disrespect. And society keeps telling us that this is strength, that the crash out is power. But Ifa says no. Ifa says that when emotion becomes more powerful than wisdom, violence is born. So today we're not just talking about getting angry, folks. We're talking about getting violent. We're talking about crashing out. Let us begin with this Odu. Ogbe baragada. Ifa says dry meat without oily substance. He was our Castifa for Bojuri, the king of Ashesheoyo Oron town, who would use excessive joy to ruin his life and reputation. He was advised to offer Ebo. He heard the sacrifice with one ear and threw it out in his left ear. It is what our Ori chooses for us that we ought to accept. It is the path that our destiny chooses that we ought to follow. These were the declarations of Ifatu Moleyo, who had the choice of picking a king, but chose a poor man as her husband. She was advised to offer Ebo, and she complied. It is normal to do so. The one that lives on earth, it is not done. The one that lives in Orun, these were the messages for Esa Kigbe, the daughter of Moleyo, who would, in order for her nemesis to take its course, marry the king. She was advised to offer Ebo, and she complied. Those who do good continuously continue to do good. Those who continue to engage in wickedness continue to do wicked. Neither goodness nor wickedness ever goes in vain. Travelers to Ipo and Ofa town, the rays of the sun expose them publicly. The ray of the sun shall expose you fiercely. Can't you see the fire of Ifa burning them openly, fiercely? So I'm going to give you all a moment to just let that sit in the air. And I want you all to put on your Ifa soap opera, because this story is going to be a whirlwind. In this story, there was a king, and his name was Bojuri. And this man was addicted to control. His philosophy essentially was, I must get whatever I want. And he lived that philosophy to the fullest. Whatever he wanted, he would take and get, no matter who suffered, no matter who got hurt, what laws were broken, what boundaries were violated. This was the mentality of King Bojuri. So when we think of this too is the mentality of folks who get violent, the crash out. Violence often brings entitlement because it feels like power. Power made this king believe that he was above consequence. Bojori abused his authority. He abused his status. He struck fear in people. He influenced them through negative means. People were terrified to refuse him. This too mirrors crash out behavior. Abusive leaders, violent men, corrupt authority figures, celebrity entitlement. Some people confuse power with permission. Now, there was a young woman, and her name was Moleyo. And Moleyo was absolutely gorgeous. Everyone in the community thought that Moleyo was the most beautiful woman within the town. And Moleyo was not only beautiful on the outside, she was beautiful on the inside. She chose character over material success. The king, Bojori, wanted her, but she chose a regular man who had good character. She chose honesty. She chose love. She chose peace. She chose compatibility. She chose her destiny over power. She chose that over wealth and status. And that enraged King Bojori. Violence often happens when people cannot accept rejection. This rejection turned into obsession, and obsession turned into violence. Bojori could not tolerate no. So what did he do? He stalked Moleyo. He sent spies to observe her. He tracked her movements. This is predatory behavior. This is stalking. This is an obsessive X. This is possessiveness and coercive control. And this emotional violence escalated into physical violence and sexual assault. Bojori attacked Moleyo when he found out where she was. He found her on the farm, and the text says that he grabbed her. He overpowered her. He tried to force himself on her. This, folks, is real violence. It's not metaphorical. And what was the final cause? Murder. The final crash out. When Moleyo resisted, Bojori lost complete control, and he beat her repeatedly. When she tried to use a stick to defend herself, he disarmed the stick, beat her with it, and cracked her skull, murdered her violently. This is the true crash out moment. One uncontrolled emotional moment created a lifetime of destruction. As Moleyo died, she said, "The rays of the sun shall expose you." This is deep, because what also was happening is her baby girl was laying beside her in a wrapper, newborn baby. When Moleyo died, they tried to bury the truth. Murder leaves spiritual consequences, and blood cries out. Violence hides in darkness, but just as Moleyo said, truth will eventually reach the daylight. This murder destroyed multiple lives. Her husband never recovered emotionally. The community suffered because they loved Moleyo. And her daughter grew up without a mother. She was passed to her aunts who couldn't have children, and she was raised by them. This murder and this crash out, it doesn't just destroy one person. Crashing out destroys families. It destroys futures. It destroys generations. It destroys peace, and it corrupts communities. The daughter of Moleyo was Esang Kigbe, and this young girl was left motherless. She grew up with her aunts, and her aunts were the ones who raised her. When she came of age, she too inherited the beauty of her mother, Moleyo. She too inherited the beautiful character of Moleyo. And so many people knew of this young girl. She had a powerful aura. She had a powerful reputation. And so many people were like, man, that young lady, Esang Kigbe, is so gorgeous, so beautiful, and she has such beautiful character. And guess what? King Bojori was still alive. And he too heard of this beautiful girl. And he wanted to get to her before anybody else did. So he sent word that he wanted to marry this young lady. What happened next will blow your mind. She then goes and casts Ifa because she had no other prospects. She went to cast Ifa, and when she casted Ifa, Ifa said, "You are free to marry this king. But there is a secret that will be revealed during your marriage that will change people's lives forever." Esankigbe thought that the secret would be something incredible that would bring elevation to the community. She then married Bojori, and Bojori adored her. He showered this young lady with gifts. He showered her aunts, who were her foster mothers. He showered them with gifts. Then something strange happened. Bojori began to have hallucinations. He would see Moleyo, who was dead. He would have panic attacks. He would wake up trembling. He would have visions. Slowly, he was eroding mentally. He became psychologically and spiritually tormented by the spirit of Moleyo. He would see visions of her laughing and crying at the same time, crying tears of blood. And one day, while in his room, he even saw her ghost. Violence destroys the mind of the violent person. 2, some killers escape prison but cannot escape their own conscience. What happened next is the only person who could console him was Esankigbe. And as she talked to Bojori, he relayed the truth. He told her, "I killed this woman, and she keeps coming to see me, and I keep saying to her, or she keeps saying to me that the rays of the sun will expose you. This woman, she keeps coming to me," and he kept yelling. I'm telling her, "Let the dead be the dead. You go back to heaven. I'm here on earth." He keeps telling the spirit that, and he tells this to his new wife. And what do you think she did? She started thinking, when the king mentioned the name, Moleyo. Esankigbe began to realize that this was the one who murdered her mother. She then immediately left the palace. But as she left the palace, she began to think, I need to expose the truth. Her name essentially meant Esankigbe, which means wickedness cannot go unrewarded. So it was in her name and in her destiny that she had to expose the murder committed by the king. So she went to the chiefs and talked to the chiefs. She went to the elders and relayed her message. They said, "Are you ready to share this and make this accusation?" She said, yes. She even found the spy who spied on her mother. The spy was still living, and guess what? The spy also had seen the murder take place. She got the spy to also tell his story because it was burning in him. They called a community meeting. Bojori was angry because he was left out of the meeting. And in that moment, they exposed him. They exposed him as a murderer. They exposed him as an abuser of power. They told about the innocent victims that he destroyed, and he was publicly disgraced. 3 days later, King Bojori died. Ifa's telling us that violence always believes that the violence is buried and the truth is buried, but until the sun comes up to expose. When we think of this story, we're watching this story unravel right now. Recently, there was a young man by the name of Sean Gathright. He's trending right now. Why is he trending? Because he comes from such a privileged background. Possibly two-parent home. He had all the opportunities in the world, traveling to South Africa, all of the opportunities in high school. He was a decent kid, a good student. Yet he coordinated and carried out a multiple gun murder squad to literally massacre a young rapper by the name of Julio Fulio. A killing prosecutors described as a targeted gang-related ambush tied to a long-running retaliation and retaliation and rivalry. A murder that took extensive planning and organization. Young black men traveled across cities hunting down another young black man, tracking him on cell phones. People calling, okay, he's over here now. He's over there now. Following him, waiting for the opportunity to kill him. And after all the violence, multiple lives are destroyed. The shooter, the victim, the families, the mothers, the children, and the community. Now all those folks are facing life sentences. And then Gathwright's lawyer convinced the judge not to give him the death penalty and to keep his 20-year-old life alive in order to profit off the labor for the remainder of his life. Gathwright's sweat equity was argued that it was needed to fortify a prison population that was aging, thus fortifying the prison industrial complex. What's my point? Violence does not stop with one victim. Gathright, like Bojori, thought, if I cannot have peace, nobody will. Crash out culture says, if I feel disrespected, somebody must die. That is the same spirit. What is crash out culture? Crash out culture, it is a generation that has turned its pain into an identity. And when pain becomes an identity, eventually violence turns into culture. Some young men are not being raised by wisdom anymore. They are being raised by retaliation, because Julio Fulio's situation mirrors this retaliation culture. Obsession, emotional warfare, gang loyalty, public humiliation, and violence becoming identity. Young men emotionally collapsing together. When we think of this, Oshe Masa becomes so important. Because in this Odu Ifa, 401 Irumole believed force was the answer. In Oshe Masa, this is the story where the 401 Irumole were coming to the earth, and they're trying to make the earth habitable. And there was a set of young women who had broke off because of abuse, and they had set up their own land and their own township, and the Irumole were coming to essentially colonize them. But these women were so powerful. Anytime anybody came to colonize them, anytime any Irumale came to colonize them, Ogun came and used force. These women beat not Orumila, they beat Ogun and killed his followers. Shango, same thing. All the Irumale, the same thing. These women beat them up and destroyed their followers. When we think of this, it's just like modern day society. Retaliation becomes strength. The various Irumale tried to revenge and gain respect. They enforced masculinity on them. They tried to intimidate them with power, but these women beat them up. Ifa showed us something different. The world was not healed and mended by more violence. What happened? In this same process, Orumila then comes and he casted Ifa. Let us look at Oshemasa. Ifa says, Alo kunrin, jingin, 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 alo kunrin. The message of Ifa for the 401 Irumale. When they were going to declare war on Olobinrin, they were advised to offer elbow. Alokinrin, jingin, 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 alokinrin. He consulted Ifa for Irumila when he was going to declare war on Ilubinrin. He was advised to offer elbow. He complied. Where are the natives of the land of Ilubinrin? Alokinrin, jingin, 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 alokinrin. Here are the neighbors of the land of Ilubinrin. Alokinrin, jingin, 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 alokinrin. We do not declare war with Iroke. Alokinrin, jingin, 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 alokinrin. And we cannot loot a town with Irukere. Alokinrin, jingin, 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 alokinrin. Where are they? The natives of Ilubinrin. Alokinrin, jingin, 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 alokinrin. Come near to me. This is the war of the land of Ilubinrin, the war of women. Come to me. This is the war of the land of Ilubinrin. Oshe, please do not run away. This is the war of the land of Ilubinrin. Come here in groups. This is the Ilubinrin land war. What is Ifa talking about? As I mentioned before, this Odu is talking about when humans inhabited the world and these women section themselves off in a group because of abuse. And as I said, these Irumole came and they were trying to colonize them to put these women in check. All the Irumole went to try to wage war on these women and loot their town and take over and make these women submit. And these women were too powerful. They beat up the Irumale, beat them all up, killed their armies, and destroyed them. And Orumila, he too thought about how can I go and wage war on these women. And Orumila went to Alokinrin, jingin, 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 and he cast Ifa. And that Ifa told him, do not use force. Ifa advised Orumila to offer a bow and approach the women with drums, approach the women with dancing, approach these women with love. With love! He was advised to not approach them with bows and arrows, spears or javelins or weapons. Instead, Orumila was advised to come with Iroke and Irukere. He was told to come with these things. So he came with this and told to dance. He brought drummers and he approached Ilubinrin and he danced. And the women looked at him and they were like, what is this? Like, you can only imagine, that Nigerian, what is this? They looked at him, what is this? And the women thought it was a trick. They were surprised. They were confused. They thought it was a trap initially. And then Eshu Odar asked the drummers and the singers to raise their voices so that the women could hear what they were singing. And the women took interest in what they were singing because Orunmila was complimenting them. He was singing about their beauty, their kindness, right? And instead of war, he came to them with love and peace. That became the remedy. As a result, men and women came to love and respect each other, and the world's population began to multiply. What is Ifa saying? This is the remedy to force, not anger, war, domination, violence. This is how you stop it. You cannot heal violence with more violence. When we think of that, force created more war. The 401 Irumale went to bring power, exert power, intimidation, and force, domination. And that did not solve the conflict. Instead, those Irumale were humiliated. So when we think of that, violence almost always creates more violence. When somebody goes, shoots the homeboy over here, this side comes back and this side comes back, and then it's retaliation, gang violence, abusive relationships, police brutality, toxic masculinity, political extremism. It becomes a cycle. And when we think of this, point number 2 is anger made the Irumale ignore wisdom. The 401 Irumale became insulted that when they went to go and ask Ifa what they should do, Ifa said, offer a bow and do it this way. And they were like, why should we offer a bow to conquer these old women? Why should we sacrifice? Pride blinded them. Crash out begins the moment emotion stops listening to wisdom. Emotionally unstable people reject counsel. They reject patience. They reject humility, and they reject reflection. Point number 3, you cannot build peace with a war mentality. The Irumale approached with a military mind, conquest, and domination. When we think of this, some people are trying to heal relationships with battlefield energy. Some people are trying to heal relationships with gaslighting and emotional violence. When we see this, like married couples fighting consistently, gender wars online, domination, disrespect, trying to make somebody submit to you because of your quote-unquote position. Let's look at what Orunmila did. Orunmila chose healing over ego. Sometimes to stop violence, to heal, you got to put your ego to the side. Orunmila did not say, I will force them. He did not say, I will dominate them. He did not say, I will punish them. Instead, he said, I will approach them with songs. I will approach them with drums. I will approach them with ovations. I will approach them with peace. I will approach them with patience. The strongest person in the room is often the one who refuses unnecessary war. And what is the result of Orunmila's behavior? This love disarmed what violence could not. The women expected arrows. They expected attacks and spears and domination. Instead, Orunmila brought them beauty, joy, celebration, peace. That confusion opened the door for healing. Some battles are not won by overpowering people, but by disarming their pain. Some battles are won by giving the injured a band-aid, giving them healing. The world collapses when men and women become enemies. The Earth's population declined because cooperation collapsed. Trust collapsed. Love collapsed. Harmony collapsed. A society at war with itself cannot reproduce peace. When we think of this, this is connected to gender wars, online hatred, relationship breakdowns, family collapse, and toxic dating culture. The real remedy to crash out generation culture is Iwa Pwele. Orunmila restored balance through peace, wisdom, restraint, emotional control, beauty, harmony, patience, and not domination. The crash out generation believes power is forced. Ifa teaches us that real power is restraint. The 401 in Rumale lost because they approached wounded women with force instead of wisdom. And people who are emotionally wounded, traumatized, defensive, angry, suspicious, and everybody keeps responding with more aggression. When we think of this, if violence created the problem, violence cannot become the solution of the problem. When we think of it, Orunmila entered a war zone carrying musical instruments and trappings of Ifa instead of weapons. The crash out generation believes domination is strength, aggression is masculinity, rage is power, and violence is leadership. But Ifa shows us something totally different. The world is not healed by spears. The world is healed by wisdom. When we think of this, we too have to come to a space where we can put pride to the side so that we can heal. Ifa is calling us for peace. When we think of this, the culture is pushing domination. The culture is pushing rage and revenge. No one is listening to wisdom. Everyone wants to be feared, and no one wants real spiritual power. No one wants Iwa Pwele. Ifa is telling us this morning how many lives have been destroyed because nobody learned emotional control. The crash out generation is not just violent, it is spiritually exhausted. Ifa is calling us for peace and not weakness, because peace and patience are not weakness. They are not surrender. Peace. There are people listening to me right now, and the violence is growing inside you. Some of us are carrying violence in us right now. Rage, resentment. We're carrying humiliation and even jealousy and bitterness and emotional pain, and it is poisoning us. Some of you are one emotional moment away from destroying your marriage, destroying your children, destroying your future and your freedom and your destiny. Bojori is a perfect example. He thought violence would give him power. Instead, it took his sanity. The 401 Urumale thought force would create the harmony. Instead, it created more war. And some of you are trying to solve spiritual problems with emotional reactions. I'm asking you, how many more funerals? How many more mothers crying? How many more young folks will be buried? How many more lives are going to be destroyed? How many more children raised without mothers or raised without fathers? When Ifa is telling us we do not conquer every battle with weapons. Battles are often won through restraint. Sometimes the real warrior is the one who controls their emotions. Sometimes the greatest sacrifice is not blood, it is ego. This morning, Ifa is calling angry men. Ifa is calling wounded women and broken families and emotionally exhausted people. Ifa is calling folks with violent hearts and traumatized minds, calling all of us back into balance, because the world is not healed with spears. It is healed with wisdom. So let us all come back to our oris, come back to patience, come back to emotional discipline, and come back to Iwapwele and Ifa. Because if violence created the problem, only wisdom can heal it. Thank you all very much for listening. I pray sincerely that this was a message that helped affect us in a positive way. So we have some announcements. We've just done Itadogun. Itadogun was done last Sunday, so we just offered the bowl for that. I will be doing the Ikofa for many of the people today and tomorrow. I'll be finishing these Ikofas, which are the rituals for the Odu Ogundabede for people's health. So I'll be doing that, finishing those up this week. Along with that, in June, I'll be doing a health kind of, I don't say retreat, but more so a health campaign for those of you who are interested. It's going to be a 17-day reset. So if you're interested, contact me. 323-244-1133. We're going to have workouts. We're going to have Ifa affirmations and healing regimens, healing recipes. So if you want to get in shape, if you want to feel better, you want to feel more vital, you can go to the website. The website is www.idinkaaifatemple.com, and I'll have the 17-day I Will Fit reset on there. It's going to start in June. Along with that, those of you who are interested in learning more about Ifa, and what I mean by learning more about Ifa, learning to be a priest, what I would like for you to do, you can join our Omawo program. And those of you who are also interested, you can join our Ifa Temple if you're interested. Also, we have various events that come up. We're in McDonough, Georgia. McDonough is like maybe, I don't know, like 30 to 45 minutes away from Atlanta. Also, those of you who are interested in continuing this movement, this culture, you can donate. You can donate at the Zelle at 323-244-1133. All right. Oops. We thank you. Oops. I don't know what the heck's going on with this. Okay. We thank you all. Thank you, Ia Barbara, for your donations and your support. Um, thank you for joining us. Ashe, Aboraboy, good to see you there. All right, tapping in from North Carolina. Abo Shishabo Tog, good to see you. Ashe. Yeah. So shout outs to everyone who came on the live online. Those of you who would like to sit and talk a little bit more will be on TikTok for the TikTok talk after the temple. So let us close with prayer. Olodumare, we ask you to continue to support us. We thank you for the peace that you have given us. Help us to absorb these messages. Help us to absorb these bits of wisdom from the tribe. Help it to be integrated into our skin, integrated into our DNA, into our blood. Help it to transform us and heal our lives throughout the week. Aboru, Aboye, Aboshishe, Agbato. Thank you all once again, and we will see you next week.